All right, with this video, I'm going to talk about stress, okay? And I know this is a little morbid, but I'm gonna I'm gonna try and tie it into Hunger Games. Whether or not this works, that's another story for another day, okay? But like with all of these videos, these short videos that I'm doing, if this helps, please give it a thumbs up in YouTube. That lets me know that it works. If it's not helpful, give me a thumbs down and give me some comments, some feedback, either in the comments or you can email me as well. Okay, so imagine that you're in the Hunger Games. I'm so sorry that you were chosen or that you chose to be tribute or whatever it is, but it's going to be a stressful situation. Okay, so I don't remember how it all starts, but they get you all set, and then the stress, the horn sounds or whatever, and Hunger Games starts. Okay, and so remember, stress takes us out of homeostasis. Okay, so anything that takes us out of homeostasis, we're going to consider to be a stressor. Okay, so let's say that you're in the Hunger Games and the little gun goes off or the horn or whatever. What's going to be going on? Well, first of all, you're going to be in this alarm phase, I think. Okay, so alarm, think red alert. Okay, I can spell red alert. I can't spell that. I don't know why I'm crossing an L. Okay, so what's going to happen? Now, just think physiologically and think big picture. That's what this is about. That's all I'm worried about with this. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to increase your sympathetic nervous system and you're going to decrease your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so what hormones or neurotransmitters are you going to have a lot of now? Okay, and ultimately it comes to this. You're going to have high levels of norepinephrine. And you're going to have high levels of epinephrine. So what do these do? Well, these do a few things, okay? So we're just going to think of them all together, right? So we're going to increase heart rate, stroke volume, cardiac output, total peripheral resistance, all right? Mean arterial pressure, ventilation, okay? This is also going to increase blood glucose. All right, you're going to need energy, and so it helps with that. All right. Basically, what are you doing? Your body is getting ready to fight. The goal of the alarm stage is it's fight night. Okay, so it's time to fight the stress. Okay. Now, that can obviously mean a bunch of different things, especially if you're in the Hunger Games. You can be like people from districts 1 and 2 that are just out terrorizing people, or you can be like people from the other districts that run away. They're trying to survive. Okay, so they kind of run away, that sort of thing. So the initial thing, that's the alarm stage. And so you have this big surge of norepinephrine and epinephrine leading to all of these changes. Okay, well, if this goes on for a little while, you're still going to have this stress, but it's lasted for a while. It's been around for a while. So now you've got the resistance stage. Okay. And so what happens here is the sympathetic nervous system continues to be high. So we're not changing that. And what I mean by high is it's going to be really active. But now what's going to happen is with the resistance phase, or resistance stage, we're increasing the parasympathetic nervous system to try and minimize changes changes due to the sympathetic activity, due to increased sympathetic tone. Okay. What's this done? Sorry if you can hear my dog. Okay, but really this is going to lead to an increase in acetylcholine, and the job or the goal is to reduce mean arterial pressure somewhat, right? High blood pressure is bad, especially if it's sustained, okay? When we exercise for a short period of time, not a big deal when blood pressure goes up, but if you have sustained high blood pressure, and we'll just focus on that, that's not great, okay? And then hopefully this stress goes away, but it might not. And so we're gonna scroll up a little bit here. And so if that stress doesn't go away, we get to what's called the exhaustion stage, okay? And so what happens is we continue to have high sympathetic, as well as, I'm going to put little parasympathetic, not quite so high, okay? But they continue, right? So we continue with these levels. Now what happens is that we release cortisol. We release aldosterone, okay? And just some other hormones, but cortisol is the big one. And what this does is this leads to increased glucose in the blood, so blood glucose. It also decreases immune function, okay? And so I want you to think back, if you've seen the Hunger Games, just think about the people, the characters that were in it, especially as this went on and on and on, right? They got tired, they got worn out. And obviously some of that was due to the things that they were experiencing, the tracker jackers and getting shot at and that sort of stuff. But just, they were not in a, they were in a very stressful situation. They had to find their own food. They had to hide from people. Like, that's going to take a lot out of them. And so eventually they get to this point where they're exhausted. Okay, I can't remember dude's name that survived with Katniss, but right, he's just hiding in the woods and he's completely exhausted. Well, what's gone on is that his sympathetic nervous system was really high for a long period of time. He's using all this energy to try and cope with the stress. Eventually, he gets to the point where you can't cope, right? And so people get worn down. And then what that does with this cortisol is that it makes it more likely to get sick because you've got decreased immune function. So this increases the likelihood of illness, all right? And if you can't get rid of the stress, your body's going to deteriorate, and that's not going to be great. And so hopefully we can take care of the stress while we're in the alarm phase or alarm stage. If not, hopefully we get rid of it while we're in the resistance stage. But if things don't go the way we want them to, we will likely reach this exhaustion stage. And there's an argument to be made that many students in college at this time of year are feeling that exhaustion stage for a variety of reasons. There's lots of stress, they're not sleeping well, they're tired, that sort of thing. And then also what happens? Y'all get sick. All right, so hopefully this helped with stress.